Hi, my name is Mark, and I think I say this in every single video I make, but we're doing a little bit of a different video today. You know when YouTubers do these videos of reacting to my first video or reacting to my first concert or everything? A couple of days ago I received this comment on one of my videos, and when I went to check it out, I noticed that the comment was made on this video that I made, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago or something, which was this video titled How to Improvise Like Guthrie Govan. And the impression I had about that video is, yeah, I stand with what I said on that video. I really think the information is good. But when I clicked the video to see what the comment was, and the video started playing, I was like, ugh, what is that? No, stop it, stop it, stop it. It was really cringy to watch. I mean, every single video I make is a little bit cringy to watch, because for some of you who don't really do videos, it's kind of cringy or at least weird to watch yourself playing and speaking to a camera in a video. It's pretty weird, or at least I think it's pretty weird to watch myself do any of those things. And because that video was, I think that was either my first video or my second video, one of those, I was, one, really not used to talking to a camera. I was pretty inexperienced in all of this video making thing about lighting and stuff like that. I mean, I'm still are, but at the time I was like, who cares if the video looks good or not, which was just dumb. And I didn't really have much confidence. I mean, it's not confidence, it's just I didn't really know how to talk to a camera. It's pretty weird. And because I think I have a decent English, but because English isn't really my native language, not only did I have to figure out how to talk to a camera, but also talk to a camera in English and not mess up everything, which I still do, but at the time I also did, and I didn't really notice while I did it. I was just talking and I was thinking, okay, it probably sounds good, and then when I was editing I was like, wait, why did I make so many grammar mistakes that I wouldn't really make while talking to myself or something? So I just hacked my way through the edit of that video and decided to just post it whatever, like it's not like anybody's going to watch. And even though it's not really the video on my channel that has the most views, it definitely has a bunch more views than all of my other videos. And the fact that I made that video 2 years ago and it has received a bunch of comments, I'm just like, okay, since it's a very cringy and embarrassing video, let's just remake it in a way that I think makes a little bit more sense. So that's what we're doing today, and if you're watching this video, you're probably aware of who Guthrie Govan is, and that his improvisational skills are just out of this world. And many people are like, oh, he can improvise well because he knows theory, or he can improvise well because he knows all of those techniques and stuff like that, or maybe he can improvise well because he's been playing for like forever, so it's just something that you can develop over time. And even though it's not like all of those answers are completely wrong, there's something that he talks about, which is following the music in your head, and that's something that when you think about it, well, following the music in my head, what does it mean? I don't really have music in my head, I'm just playing it, I'm just doing whatever my stuff is. How can I listen to the music in my head and play the music in my head? Well, even though it sounds kind of weird, it definitely has an explanation, and that's what we're going to talk about, like I did in the other video, but at least let's try to make it not as cringy as the other one, or, well, it's not let's try to make it, it's let me try to not make it as cringy as it was on the other video. And playing that thing that you hear in your head is what we call audiation. And even though audiation might seem like a fancy word, it's not really something that weird when you think about it. But before I keep going with it, I just want to ask you to please subscribe to my channel. As you're probably aware, YouTube acts a little bit weird. Even if you subscribe to a channel, the channel's videos may really not show up in your subscription box. And even if you ring the little notification bell thingy below, you still really may not be notified of that channel's content. So if you want to stay tuned to my videos, not only do I suggest subscribing and turning on all the notifications, but also follow me on social media. Not only do I post some exclusive stuff there, I can provide solos and jamming for backing tracks, and generally wherever I'm up to at the moment, but I always post about my videos. Links to original suspects will be below, but in general at my English guitar. And since you're down there, please consider leaving a like and share this video on social media. I highly appreciate it. But again, getting back to the video itself, talking about audiation, even if you think, oh, well, but I don't really listen to music in my head, or I don't know what you're thinking about. Well, every time you're humming a song and you stop humming the song but you can hear it inside, you're audiating. It's like imagining music, if you can think about it. And even if you think, oh, okay, but I don't really imagine music, and when I think about a song, I'm not really imagining something out of the blue, I'm just remembering something that I already know. I already know the song, so I'm just picturing something that I already know in my head. It's not like improvising where you're just making stuff on the spot. And even though that does make sense, let me just give you an example. If I play you something like, you definitely know what comes next. What comes next is dun-dun. So if you could picture that in your head, why can't you picture other songs? And again, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, yeah, I can picture that song of the Happy Birthday on my head, but it's because I already know the song. If I'm trying to improvise something on the spot, how can I do it? It's not really like I know what I'm going to improvise. And again, I understand what you mean. But let's say that I play like an A minor chord. Again, I think this guitar is tuned a half step down, but you don't really need to worry about that much. If I play like an A minor chord, you can probably sing a note that fits in well with the chord. In this case, I sang the fifth of the chord. And if I was playing over that chord and I played a fifth, in this case that E, it would fit in well. And you can probably do that as well. And it's actually something that Guthrie has talked about. And if you're into jazz, you've probably heard many jazz players thinking that, oh, if you play something that you can't really sing, then you're not really playing something that's cool, which is a whole other debate for another time. But basically what they mean is that if you can't listen to what you're playing, you're just playing something just for the sake of playing, then maybe it isn't like a heartfelt thing, it's just muscle memory, right? Like I mentioned before, I mentioned that I was playing over an A minor chord. And if you looked at it and you thought, oh, okay, I can just play like an A minor pentatonic. And all my blues licks along with it. Or maybe, oh, if I'm in A minor, I can maybe play my A minor scale. Or my Dorian scale. Or if you're feeling fancy, something like the harmonic minor or Hungarian minor scale, some things like that, or the melodic minor scale, even if you're like jazzy or something like it. But that's not really the point of audiating and stuff like that. It's the point of saying, okay, I'm just going to play what I think will probably sound good, and I'm not really playing something that I know sounds good or that is based on muscle memory. I'm just going to play something that it's what I want to play in there. Because like I mentioned before, because we were in A minor, I could play all of those scales, but how would I know that that one was the better one to play, or that one was the one that I was feeling like that would give like our song or that chord the best feeling that I want to give it? Well, I wouldn't really know. I would have to try them all and see which one works better. But let's say that I was thinking of this melody like down da da down. I could maybe continue that melody. And it depends on person to person, but if I'm picturing it in my head, dun, 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 the next thing that comes up is like dun, dun. So I would be playing something like, and that maybe brings me to da da dun, da dun, da 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 dun. I'll probably play it wrong, but overall I think I got something like. And playing all of that, you may think, well, okay, but that sounds cool, but I wasn't really listening to that. And even if I was, how would I know how to play it? Well, even though that's sort of a different subject, if you can listen to something in your head, you need to figure out where it is and how to play it. And that can be done with the help of ear training. Like if I play something like I can probably play it like. In this case, because we've been playing in A, I know that is an A because I've just played it, right? But because of my ear training, I know that that second note is this minor 7. And I can play it on my guitar because I know, okay, if I find the first note, the other one is it's minor 7, so let's just go down a whole step. And when I play that thing of it's to get to that note. If I want to go I would go Again, with the help of ear training and a little bit of audiation, I can definitely figure it out. And again, that's one part of it that Guthrie definitely does. And when it comes to theory and scales and all that stuff, in this case, because I was in A minor, and I definitely gravitate more into those sort of Hungarian minor and harmonic minor sounds, those sort of more Eastern sounding sounds, I was definitely like, okay. Which was this harmonic minor passage. And I was like, okay, because we're in A minor, I'm definitely going to play notes that fit in well with A minor. And what are the notes of A minor? Okay, we have A, C, and E. Those are the notes of the A minor chord. So those notes will sound well against that chord. All the other notes I added that weren't either A, C, or E were all color notes. Like this one is a color note, this one's a color note, this one's a color note. this is E, which is a part of that chord. And this one is a color note, color note, color note. This is a note from the chord. It's a C, it's a third, second, flat 9. And that's the only thing that theory brings me really, and that brings Guthrie, of course. It's the ability to, in this case, look at a chord and say, okay, looking at this chord is an A minor chord, so it has notes A, C, and E. I can play those notes. It definitely sounds a little bit bland with just those notes, right? So that's when we add all other color notes, and we can add whichever note we want. We can even add them all. And in this case, because we've been improvising over just that A minor chord, we can use all of the notes we want to. But if we had like a chord progression like A minor, F major, C major, and G major, I would of course know which notes fit in well with those chords. And I can use all of those notes because I know that they're in the scale that makes up the song and whatever, but that doesn't really make me improvise and audiate. But if I'm trying to improvise something over that chord progression, and I know in which key we are so that I can know which scales we can use, when I'm audiating and I'm thinking about I know that I'm probably, in this case, because we're in this key, we're in A natural minor, so I know that what I play is probably something in that scale. Again, probably not play note for note because I audiated it first and then I'm trying to play it without really remembering exactly what I sang, but that's definitely something you can do. When Guthrie says that he knows theory and that he audiates and you think, well, but he knows theory anyways, that's how he uses his theory. And again, ear training is a big part of it. I don't really want it to seem like I'm rushing all of these things. In fact, I kinda am rushing a couple of these things, but it's mostly because I've done videos about this before, which you can check out. I'll leave them in the card section or in the end section of the on-screen, something like it. You will be able to check them out and learn more from it. You can check it out in the card section. But getting back to the video itself, now you may be thinking this, which is, well, but you're not really audiating. You're singing something and you're playing whatever you're singing. You're not really doing something in your head. You're playing something that you're singing. It's not something in your head, it's something that you are singing, right? Well, what's the difference really? Because I've been to a Guthrie Govan masterclass / clinic thingy, I'm not really sure if he mentioned this on that masterclass or if he's mentioned it in some other videos, but he definitely mentioned it in some other videos, I'm pretty sure he did. He's definitely said before that he's not really that much of an extroverted guy, he's much more of an introvert and a guy that keeps stuff to himself a lot of the time, so it's kind of weird to an introvert to just come out and sing and play at the same time. But you can sing in here, the same way that you can think about stuff that you're going to say or that you want to say. Just because you're playing doesn't mean you can't think of notes that sound good. It's just a little bit hard at first because it's like a muscle. You need to exercise it so that it works fine. I mean, I can't really talk for Guthrie because he's a whole different human being, but I can definitely talk for myself, even though I'm kind of alright with audiating stuff and improvising stuff like that. If I spend a lot of time without doing it, I definitely lose a little bit of dexterity doing it. In fact, it's just like when playing guitar. If you've been playing guitar a lot, everything sounds cool. But if you leave guitar for like a week, when you come back, it definitely feels all rusty and stuff like that. It's the same thing. And again, if you want to try this, I highly suggest you do just like I did before, which is start with something simple, like, I don't know, maybe a chord. I chose the A minor chord, but you can try any other chord. You can even try, like, I don't know, a G sharp major chord. And try to either sing or imagine a note that sounds good. In this case, I was picturing, which I think is the root in this case. Yeah. And then you can try to picture maybe another note, like, and after it, you can maybe start to connect stuff. Like instead of just doing one note after the other, you can maybe try to build up a little melody, like. Again, I can already know it because I've been doing my ear training and stuff like that. But if you're new to all of this stuff, it might take a while at first, but after a little bit of doing it, you'll definitely get better at it. It's just like I mentioned before, a muscle that you've got to stretch and work out first before it comes out alright. In a way, it's a technique like any other. Are you going to tell me that the first time you tried to do sweep picking that it worked alright the first time? That the first time you tried to sweep some arpeggios, you definitely played something like... You probably didn't. You probably sucked at it, like I did, and like Guthrie probably did. Even though Guthrie is kind of an overpowered beast. But you probably know what I mean, right? I think this is sort of a little bit more esoterical than maybe some of my other lessons, where I just go like, okay, you can play this lick. And when in this case I'm like, okay, just picture the lick and try to do something like it. But I try to make it as simple as I can. Again, try to go back to the happy birthday theme. And again, I think the hardest part of this is for you to play what you're hearing and not just hearing what you're playing. Or I think it's probably a little bit better to explain. What you want to do is you want to play what you're singing, not sing what you're playing. And even though they seem like the same sort of thing, they're not. Because you can easily go play all of your standard pentatonic licks like... But are you really audiating that? Maybe you're not. Maybe you're just singing along with what you're playing. And that's not what you want to do. You want to first envision something and sing something in your head, or just sing something out loud if you're that up front to it, and then play that, not do the opposite. And in a way, it's sort of hard to do it. And again, I think that's pretty much the hardest part of all of this sort of thing, because muscle memory is a big part of our instrument, and because the guitar is such a pattern sort of a thing. I mean, look at this pattern, it's so cool. We can very much easily get into these sorts of things and not really be thinking about it. Or go, okay, because I mean A minor, let's just play A minor arpeggios. But that's not really what you want to do. You want to think, okay, maybe I can use some arpeggios, and think, okay, that's an arpeggio, you're just switching some of the notes around, and go around it like, okay, I just play. What comes next? Again, you don't really need to do it out loud, but because I'm doing the video, I think it's easier to do it like this. But I'm not just singing it like muscle memory. The same way I'm singing it, I'm imagining it into my head. Like, I can just play something like... Again, that's probably a little bit too over the top, but I hope this is something that makes sense. Again, it's basically what I talked about in that video that I did a couple of years ago, but I just go a little bit more in depth into it, and I think that maybe if I got like, I don't know, half of the views I got in that video in this video, maybe it's worth it. Again, if you want to learn more about Audiation, there's a much more of other videos and stuff that you can read online. I think that Adam Neely definitely done a video about Audiation that you can check out. I mean, Adam is such a beast, so go check out his video if you want to. And again, you can go check out my other video, but I think it's a little bit cringy. But if you want to learn more about Audiation, even though I sort of talk about the same sort of a thing, you can definitely check that video out. And yeah, I guess that's it. Again, thank you so very much for watching. If you have any more questions about this, please leave them in the comment section below. I'll definitely either respond to you in the comments, or I'll talk about it in some other video. And yeah, like I mentioned before, if you can, subscribe to the channel. Even if you think, oh, I'm not really sure, I'll just get your videos in the recommended section of YouTube's page. You won't. I'm pretty sure you won't. YouTube's algorithm is more focused on showing you videos that leave you watching other videos in the platform, like, oh, I'm watching this video, but then I want to watch this video, and then I want to watch this video. And guitar lessons aren't really that sort of a video. When you watch guitar lessons, you either stop playing the video to go try it, or you go practice, or you don't go practice, or go spam me in the comments with negative comments and something like it. So it's not really the sort of content that YouTube likes to promote, so if you want to watch my videos, please not only subscribe and turn on all the notifications. And like I mentioned before, because that may or may not work, please follow me on social media. I try to post on my Instagram as well, and I definitely post there about my videos, so yeah, go follow me there. And yeah, I guess that's it. Again, like I mentioned before, thank you so very much for watching. If you can, go check out some of my other videos, I'd highly appreciate it. And yeah, cheers!